Boy, we both do, brother. We've got a lot to say. Well, everybody, excuse me. Welcome. This is Chance's Chat. Of course, I'm Doc G, Fascinating Brian. We have some other people coming in. I don't know who that is, but Chance McFadden, of course, is here with Chance's Chat. This is for entertainment purposes only. Also, it may not be. Welcome to Chance's Chat. Go ahead, Chance. And when we're all supposed to expecting another guest, you know him as Wyatt. Go ahead.
Okay, guys. I sat in the drive-thru at Taco Bell for 45 minutes, and I was wedged in, so I couldn't even get out. Okay, this is why I'm getting all the comments. People say I'm looking younger. It's because I wear the patches on my face. Okay, so that helps. I'll take them and put them down here for tonight, so I won't look so silly. We got a huge show tonight, guys. And I really don't know where to start except at the beginning. Now, I'm going to leave the decoding to Wyatt.
Okay. Can I pause you real quick, Chance?
Go.
So it's going to be very hard to take you seriously unless you wipe that sauce. Mustache.
That's not sauce.
Hey, how are you?
That's
Oh,
not
that is
sauce.
it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was sauce. You said Taco Bell. I was like, oh, that Taco Bell sauce.
I woke up.
Okay.
I hope you like the background.
Sorry. I apologize then if it's not sauce.
You're good. You're good. All right, guys.
I hope you,
All right, I finally got my act together here. Wyatt, we're sure glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Wyatt all the way from Australia being live. He's in the morning there, about 11 o'clock in the morning, aren't you?
Yep, 11:30. 11:33 to be precise. Hi, everybody.
Yep.
Hope you all like the background.
Yep, I love it. I love it. Wyatt in the Oval Office. That sounds like a premonition. Okay, guys, really, I'm not kidding. When I tell you we got good news tonight, this whole darn show, we're gonna have to be careful what words we use. Like we're gonna have to use like Mr. T instead of the card thing. There's James.
Hi, James.
Hi, James. Ladies and gentlemen, this is James Rink.
How's
James,
it going, everybody?
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, sure. I have a YouTube channel called Super Soldier Talk. I've gone around, interviewed, probably done maybe 500 or 1,000 interviews now on people that had experiences in the secret space program. But I also have a background in finance. And years ago, I put together a documentary called Changes on the Horizon. Who here has watched it?
Sorry.
Oh, for shame. But it's an excellent video. I put 3 years of my life into it. And it's about, we start off with Saint Germain and goes into some of the early esoteric teachings. The second part goes into the American Federal Empire, how America became enslaved. And the last part is about Nasara. So back in the day, we had I had access to resources that we don't have anymore because, Dove of Oneness is no longer alive. I think she died in 2011. And then even before that, we had Patrick Bellringer with the Four Winds 10 website. And is my okay. So So I used that resource to put together a documentary about Nasara because it actually started off with this. It was probably like a 3-page article that I wrote based on some of the research that was coming out of Four Winds 10. And once it went viral, people asked me, "Well, make a video." So initially, I was just going to narrate it, but then I decided to add music and professional. What I did is I found a bunch of documentaries and I like History Channel quality documentaries. I deleted the audio because I thought most of that was propaganda, and I just used the footage to show what I think happened with so on, with the French Revolution and so on, going all the way to the empire.
James.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I want, we've got the show kind of planned out. I'm going to give some introductory intel, and then Wyatt is going to give his decode, Well, it's kind of a combination decode that him and I both did, and he did most of it, but I'm on the back burner. And then we're going to have Fascinating Brian talk about what his impression is, and then we're going to have you come on, and we're going to give you a whole half hour, and then we're going to have Dr. Wiedemann come on at about 8:30 or 8:45, and he's going to talk about some health things to do with longevity and minerals, and then we will give the intel from the intake officer. But I'm going to start this show out this way, okay? We need some good news. Everybody needs good news. I need to give you more than hopium. I'm going to give you more than hopium right now. My friend in Washington State got a $31,000 check that she shouldn't have gotten, and another check for $3,100. And she got them legitimately. They were legitimate. My friend in Louisiana, she went to the mailbox to get her Social Security check, and she about fell over and stood right there and started crying because she got $13,000 extra in her Social Security check. And then we have a lady in Texas who got a $23,000 check. Okay? Now, regardless of where these checks come from or whatever the story is behind them, what I'm trying to prove is money is flowing. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you right now a personal testimony of a gentleman that we all know and love that that basically is going to blow your mind. I'd like to introduce to you the producer of the show, Doc G. Go ahead, Doc. It's all you, buddy.
Oh, well. Woo! I don't know where to start. Let me start here, guys. When CFPB was suing the Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, I've had a lot of fraud on my accounts over the years. And what I decided to do was say, I'm going to do the same thing. So I reached out to some of my friends in the FBI, CIA, all them places I've known for 20 some years or more. And they said, send them a letter. What are they going to do? Say no, And I said, verify all accounts to be mine, no fraud, wet ink signatures if you can find them, verify them all that they're mine. If they're not, you will get fined, there will be fees, and we'll take you to court. Guess what? CFPB starts suing Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And then I also put it to Better Business Bureau because Better Business Bureau was part of the CFPB as well. So you got two people going against the same three agencies, okay? To make a long story short, I sent a letter to the FBI, Kash Patel, said the same thing in there. And I said to him, I sent it to the CFPB, the three reporting agencies, and also the Better Business Bureau. And today, this is what I got, guys. Let me show you what this says. And you should know what this means, okay? Here it is. Does anybody know what this says? It says, on my accounts that started out with the fraud, TransUnion now reports that I have zero debt, zeroed accounts on my TransUnion. Do you see that right there? Do you see it, Wyatt? Do you see it, Brian? And do you see it, James? And I know Chance sees it. It's right there, proof. So now we only need Experian and Equifax to be sistered along, which they will be very soon. And then all my accounts will be zero. This is a part of the Sarah Gassara, guys. This is exactly the way you make it happen. You claim that it's fraud. I did have fraud on some of these accounts. I'm not going to say I didn't, but it's fraud because from the straw man account, it's fraud. This is our credit they're using. This is how we got them. This is what Trump wants to do. Chance, help me here. You're on mute, Chance.
First of all, any contract with fiat currency is fraud. Any of it. How can you have a currency that's backed by nothing, and you do it? You're supposed to pay them with this currency that's worth nothing. How can you not? How can it not be fraud? Okay. Second of all you have to do, I'll tell you how to handle this, Doc. If you want to, get to experience and Equifax, you send a screenshot of this. Send this screenshot by email to Experian and Equifax and tell them TransUnion has zeroed out your balances because they were fraud, and that you reported it to the FBI, and you're looking forward to them immediately doing the same exact thing. Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's how you do it. And if you don't hear anything in 3 or 4 days, then write them a quick note, send them a certified letter, and Bob's your uncle. That's it. So, hello, Valerie. Hello, Min Chow. So that's it. That's all you got to do. It's going to happen. It's going to happen probably within 2 weeks. You can just speed up the process a little bit, and then follow them up with a phone call. Okay. As long as they know the FBI is involved in this, they're not going to cause any problems. And everybody knows it's not the old FBI, it's the new FBI. Okay. I like to keep on this show. I like to keep talk about cryptocurrencies out of here. I'll tell you why. Mr. Rink has an incredible reputation, and we're very privileged to have him. He's almost like a superstar coming on our show tonight, so we appreciate that so much. What will happen if the currencies you bought and they're not authentic? Will the bank still exchange them? Well, I'm hearing yes, but I've always told you where to buy them from. I've told you the only two legitimate sources. So, you got to do what you got to do. I also got information today from the Intel officer. The intake officer. I'm sorry. I got to focus. The intake officer told me today he talked to a general. A general has verified it's going to become public. Barack Obama's birth certificate is absolutely illegitimate. Now, we've all known that. We've all suspected it for a long time, but he got this information straight from a general, and it's going to be made public anytime. Okay, so
Chance. Try not to use names, just in case we get censored or cut off.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay.
So I'll say Mr. T. Anyway,
I have a question. What will happen to all the laws that were signed by the Mr. O, right? So if he's not the president, Mr. O, right? How would that affect things?
Gone.
Well,
absolutely gone. His presidency will be declared illegitimate, and nothing that he did will be nothing that he did or signed will be accepted. So all those laws.
That's right, Wyatt. He is, as we all know, the real one has been dealt with. You got the Mr. Obama. has been dealt with, and but this is for the public. This is for the sleeping masses. He's also told me that because of the particular group that I am with, I've told you, I've been blessed, and I'm going to go in with the Sovereign group, which is the D1 group. That means I'll be working directly with one sovereign who is going to be exchanging my currency, and there will be no middlemen. And the paperwork has already been done. It's already been signed. I already have my quantum financial account. And all I have to do is go to the appointment. And he said it could be as soon as 4 days. So keep your prayers flowing for me, folks, because as usual, I'm broke as a joke. But that's not funny. But you got to laugh at a situation, But it's all good. Okay, I turned it all over to God. Okay, Source, Yahweh, Yeshua, whatever you want to call him. But before I let Wyatt talk about the excuse me. Have you? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Gregory. Okay, here's what's going on. What is my debt? What is your debt? Is it $50,000 the IRS? No, I don't have it. I'm not in. Believe it or not, I'm not really in debt. It's just, and I'm totally transparent, so I'll just say it. I'm the property tax thing, and the utility things is just eating me alive. But it's all good. We're all gonna make this through. I'm gonna cross the finish line with all of you, and I am going to reveal something. Wyatt's going to give the intel. I'm going to reveal a couple things about Trump's Mr. T's speech. Mr. T's speech was CGI and AI combined. The people that came on as, like the little 13-year-old boy with the uniform on, and all the other people that were families of the victims and stuff, all those people were recorded offsite and implemented into the AI show. Mm-hmm. Now, I can prove this to you in one way and one way only. So one thing, my son and I were watching it together. Remind me to tell you guys about Pam Bondi, because I got some dirt on her. So Pam Bondi's not long for the office. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But when this speech started, oh, what if your debt is $50,000 to the IRS? Ignore them. Trump just is getting ready to sign an executive order that's going to freeze the IRS for the next 90 days. During that time, he will eliminate it. I'm just telling you. Okay, it will be done. Okay, now let's go about this AI. Did you notice how when Trump gave the speech, everything was fluid, rehearsed? And I saw the shot from the back. They only did a back shot one time, and there was no teleprompter, guys. He didn't memorize all his speech. It was pre-recorded.
Yeah, there were teleprompters. They were set low, but the thing is, in certain shots, those teleprompters disappeared.
Right. Right. And also in certain shots, when they went to the people that were inserted, I noticed in one case there was a brunette, rather large brunette lady standing behind to the left, and they faded away back to Trump, and then they went back to her again, and she was gone, and then they moved the camera again, and then she was back. Now, the other thing is, by the way, Junior was recorded there too. He was the tall guy with the beard and the hair, and he said it right in front, and he looked like an unmade bed. Okay. Remember what I told you all last week about, Elon Musk, and I don't know if that was him or a CGI, or it was inserted. He didn't have much to say. He was just kind of in the background. The main thing is the bombs that were dropped. Okay. Now, before I let Wyatt do that, I'm going to tell you the one thing. There's one thing that happened when CGI Mr. T left, and everybody's patting him on the back and attaboy and, saying things, and he was shaking hands and all this stuff. Somebody on the backside said, "What about President Robin Williams?" Now, wait a minute.
No, he didn't say that. He said, President Robin Williams, thanks for the call.
Okay, that's what he said then.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Thanks you for the call, yeah.
Guess what? Robin Williams is playing the part of the Argentina president. Okay? So, as well as Mr. Pappy and anybody else that he has to play. But that notification about President Robin Williams, who was said very, very quietly and in the background, okay? When this happens, that verifies everything every truther that's telling the truth has ever said. That verifies Hillary dying on December 31st, 2018. That verifies all the masks. That verifies everything. Okay? So keep in mind, it was CGI and AI combined. I was told late this afternoon from a lady who you would recognize her name, but I'm not going to say it. But I was told that she went by the building and there was nothing going on there. She was in Washington, D.C. That's what I heard. I'm just passing the information along. Don't shoot the messenger. Oh. Well, we've got a lot of good news already, guys. So now Wyatt is going to break down the speech and everything that went on. And were you going to start with Mr. Green or not?
I'm going to start with the White House because the White House was lit in green before President Trump made his appearance in the Congress.
Great. So it's all you, Wyatt.
Yeah. So that was interesting. The White House lit in green. So that's, Greens go, of course. So right off the bat, he said, America is back and this is the golden age. So that's a gold reference. All right. He's talking about the economy and an unrelenting, a swift and unrelenting action, right, insofar as the economy. And we're just getting started. Okay. Swift is gone. And just getting started refers to Jassara, of course. And the American dream is going to be unstoppable. That's nothing can stop what's coming. Then Representative Al Green started up and was removed. I mean, no, you got another green com there. He's being removed. The go, and he had to go. So Greens go. Right? So it was all pre-stage of plan. And as Chance said, it's AI, CGI, real-time editing. Okay. but does not negate the message at all. He spoke about our presidency. That's the people and him. That's the republic being in place. I mean, it's he said he's been up on the dais 5 times, and 5 times he's had to, deal with these idiots on to his right, which were the Democrats. That's 5 by 5 communications. 5 by 5 is loud and clear. So he's saying it's go, go, go. Are you receiving this loud and clear, right? He's fighting to make these judges and whatnot are fighting to make changes, to the way that he is able to do it. Mr. T is able to do his job and whatnot through lawfare, and that's what that was all about. He's making big, dreaming big and making bold actions. What else? He's withdrawing from the Green New Deal, the Paris Accord, the World Health Organizations, the UNHRC. That's a Hillary Clinton. That's a Hillary reference there, I would say. And he talked about for every new regulation that comes that's going to be put forward, 10 have to go. So that's 1 in 10. That's 10%. So this is the regulation side of things, right? So he's going to reduce regulation down to 10%. In other words, he's going to downgrade the bureaucracy to 10%, which is, all fitting in with the agenda for NESARA, right? When it came to Peyton McNabb, one of the people he called out, he was talking about her being partially paralysed on the right-hand side. And this is a reference to the lawfare, I believe, right? Because everything he says is code. And talking about, like this young lady who was in a marathon, and the transgender competitor beat her by 5 hours 14 minutes, and he said 5 hours, and it repeated it 5 hours, so 5 by 5 again. So these communications, he's going to rescue the economy, and the only way to rescue the economy is to bring in NESARA and JASARA and the tariffs and whatnot like that, which will actually be replacing taxes. He talked about the price of eggs. Well, eggs, if you look at that, when you're talking about eggs, you're looking at Easter eggs, right? So there's something going to happen by Easter, and I'll get into that shortly. He's talking about the liquid gold that America has. That is the gold standard reference again, right? Drill, baby, drill. Right, so it's coming. Right. He talked about Doge and what they've been doing, and all of the money that they've found, and all of the ridiculousness related to all of these programs. And he ended up calling out Pocahontas, right? Because she's clapping 5 more. You want it to go on for 5 more years, and she's still there clapping, right? He called her out directly, and I believe the reason why he called Pocahontas out was because of the fact she's benefiting from the that shooting match over between Russia and Ukraine. All right, there's he's very clever when he does these things. He made another reference to SWIFT, and it being terminated. So it's really all happening. He made continued to make references about gold in the gold card for millionaires. They're going to buy it for $5 million, and then they got to come over and employ people and help with make the economy. Oh, look, he said so much. The 5th of November, he said will be remembered. Yes, it will. He talked a lot about the 2nd of April and how he was not going to do anything on the 1st of April because he's suspicious. I would say that the calendar is going to change on April the 1st. It's going to be God's Day, and we'll go on to the Julian, back onto the Julian, either the Julian or I think it's the international. Yeah, I think we'll go on to the international calendar, and April the 1st is New Year's Day, because April 1st was never, they called it April Fool's Day because that was the satanic version of it. So, but April the 2nd was mentioned 3 or 4 times, and I do believe that the 2nd of April is going to be huge. I think this is closer to the announcement of Nasara and Jasara than anything. But he also mentioned 22, I don't know how many times. So something's going to happen on the 22nd of March, I believe, right? Because he does drop numbers as part of communications. There were a couple of things that he mispronounced, and he called Tren de Agua Tren Aragua. Now, I don't know if anybody speaks Spanish, but if somebody knows what the Aragua means, could you just put it up in the comments, please? He said that the cartels are a threat to the national security, and that they're going to go to war with them. Right? I've been saying for the last 3 weeks now that the war's already going on. Right? So yeah, fireworks. This is all playing out. We're now seeing it. It's being announced. Right? As I said, everything is what we're hearing is 2, maybe 3 weeks old, and it's coming up as new, but it's now in the public. It's been done. All right. So he talks about, he talked about the deportations under Tom Homan, and then that any police officer who has killed the killer gets the death penalty, and requires, he said, to ensure sovereignty, law and order has to be maintained. Right? Now, when you think about that, that's possibly the planned riots and whatnot like that are going to be coming, because the left, they're just in this resistance mode. I mean, they've lost all credibility. He spoke to about the justice system and was referring things to Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, and he wished them good luck. All right, he made mention of certain things. That's him giving them the mission and saying good luck on the mission. So things are coming. DJ Daniel, the young man who was made a honorary Secret Service agent, came from Al Green's district. I bet. He's had cancer. He got diagnosed with cancer, and he was given 5 months to live. He's had 15 operations. 15. And there's a communication. That is a law enforcement communication. All right. But, 5 in that comes up again. He also made the comment about Bobby Kennedy. With a name like Kennedy, you would think they would have thought I would have thought everybody here would remember. So that's a reference to remembering JFK, RFK. Okay. He talked about the autism being 1 in 36. He said that transgenderism and everything is out of the government, out of the military, out of the education system. But these Democrats are still holding on. He also mentioned the best military recruiting in 15 years. So 15 is important as well. The 15th could be important. He's talking about bringing in the Golden Dome. There it is, that gold again. And when he said that Reagan back in the day didn't have the technology to do it, and that's Starlink we're talking about. Reagan wanted to bring in, as you may remember, Star Wars technology, the Star Wars. All right, but they're saying that they said that the technology at that time wasn't available. Yeah, it probably was, but it was suppressed. Shipbuilding is important. Big, beautiful ships. And talked about the Panama Canal. So the shipping, he's talking about the shipping and the economy in the Panama Canal and whatnot like that. Greenland's right to self-determination, and that they'll respect it. He spoke about the 13 service people who were killed during the withdrawal at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan. And there was a comment in regard to that. I'm still trying to work that one out. But the Abraham Accords are going to be strengthened. This will, and I've said this about what was going on in Gaza. Gaza's going to be in this. This is how they're going to get this peace deal. This is how they're going to rebuild. How Gaza and whatnot's going to be rebuilt, putting these other people, with the Palestinians in the other countries until the place is rebuilt. So that is saying that they're going to do it now. He said that America would be once again proud, free, sovereign, and independent. I'm telling you, that is the Republic. 100% that is a Republic. But he also mentioned the Empire State Building, the Hoover Dam, and the Golden Gate Bridge. And those three things are in the 34 things that have to be destroyed. Okay, because of their satanic overtones. But Golden Gate Bridge could also be interpreted, but there's two interpretations for that. And the Golden Gate Bridge is the pathway to a gold standard. And I do believe that gold standard will be announced very, very soon. So recapping, 34 was mentioned a number of times, or 43. So we reversed that. 22 was reversed quite a few times. 15 was mentioned a few times. So we're looking at the 22nd and the 15th. And I think we're going to get something, with this fake World War III scenario occurring, that those 34 buildings around the world are going to be gone, and of course that bridge. But otherwise, the speech was very, very good. It sent the message to everybody who was listening, and the optics of what happened with the Democrats sitting on their hands the way they were, that just goes to show that they've lost all touch with reality, all touch with the people. They are the party of hating America. They are the party of hating anything President Trump does. And it's going to come back and bite them. As a political force, they're finished. Stick a fork in them, they're done. That's it, Chance.
Well, that's some good stuff. And only thing I can tell you is, before the night's over, I'm going to probably remember a couple things that I probably forgot to say. But while we're getting things wound down here to get James on, I'm going to have Fascinating Brian come on and give his interpretation of the nom de plume.
All right. Well, hello and good evening, everybody. So I like to begin with a statement. And the statement is, if something sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. Okay. So there's a reason why you should always have healthy skepticism. So you want to always use compare and contrast, right? You notice the formula and how everything that has always proceeded does not make any sense. And yes, as someone who does have a military background that has learned but also been taught psychological warfare or psyops, it's very clever. It's very detailed. And they use any and all tools, assets at their disposal. It doesn't matter if it's media, personnel, entertainment, it's all viable. It's important to understand that these things will always exist because they are useful. So through my clarity, I kind of saw some ideas. So bear with me. So you heard that it is CGI as well as artificially generated and created, right? Okay. So if you can imagine those actors supposedly playing the part to be nefarious, to reject anything for the common people. Now, if you wanted to like kind of remote view and see if they're wearing an ankle monitor, they most likely are. Or if you wanted to zoom close in to look around their neck or their collar, they're probably wearing a mask. They're not here anymore. That is the conclusion. A lot of what you're seeing, again, is just optics. They're not here. It's for you to pay attention to, but at the same time, from a spiritual sense, you don't want to give it any more attention than you have to. You really don't. You can observe it, but you need to let it go. There's a greater force and surge of energy that is needed for the planet, but most importantly, for your consciousness. So, and I kind of have to re-emphasize on this. You come first. We all come first before anybody else. And I don't know about you, but today I actually took quite a few moments to kind of place my palm, my hand over my heart. Because I wanted to kind of like reaffirm and re-identify who I am, who I truly am, my principles, what I stand for as a sovereign being, as someone who is playing the part as a human, but isn't human. I am not. I'm very, very, very old. Very, very old. Probably much older than most of your past incarnation Christs. Okay? Very knowledgeable. I know how a great many things work here. You would be surprised and terrified if you knew it in its detailed aspects and format. It's terrifying to know a lot in how things are governed from a matrix point of view. So by doing this, you can center but know yourself better. It's really important that you take some time to identify you. So what I have identified is I have a lot of love. I do have a lot of joy, respect, honor, but I also have a lot of sadness. I also have a lot of skepticism. I have a lot of, how would I say, I don't enjoy useful idiots. I don't enjoy seeing people become useful idiots. It makes me very, very unhappy to see when people take advantage of other people's kindness. I also get upset when people that don't do this, when they look in the mirror and they don't see other people equally in measure, right? No one's greater than or less than. I don't like people or beings that think they're better than someone else. I don't like people, and this is when they feel lesser than you because it promotes weakness. It makes me sad. That's what I don't like about it. Because those people will take advantage by being weak so that way they can have you do the hard work for them. I don't like it. It makes me very annoyed because I feel within here that people can be extremely empowered. They can be something greater than they can even come up with. Okay. So it's really important to understand that. And most of all, I don't forget. I forgive, but I will never forget. And I do not like people very much that talk about others and try and get others to say, he's no good. She's no good. They're not who they say they are. They're villains in disguise, right? Or they're false prophets. I don't like it. The truth is, everything is subjective and truthful to a degree, but you have to be objective. You need to be respectful. It's important to be respectful even if you disagree. I am one of the most transparent people on this show, and I will tell it like it is. And it's important for us to understand that. So here's what's really good. That's happening, but a lot of you are missing the idea to actually take action. So Doc did a really great thing. He took action because you are in the threshold to where you cannot be complacent. If you want something, you do it now because it's in your favor to get it accelerated, or you wait. You wait till everyone else gets it. You don't have to now because the threshold is met to where there is a great switch over to a lot of new principles and entities and ideas. This is something to consider. Many of you will take inaction and you're just going to do nothing. But I would like to encourage you to take action because it's now in your favor. And I'm not saying it just because it's pretty words. No, it's because I know the energy. I feel it. This is the perfect time to move forward. And you have guides, you have that are watching, that want to see the very best in you. But you need to do something. You have to do it for you. I'm going to move to relationships. This is really important. Your partners need to also be as equal to you in respect and in love and in support, right? They are considered your tribe. They should be equal in the support. You don't drive the vehicle alone. If you're driving it alone and you have your kids or someone else's kids and your spouse in the car and they're not willing to take the driver's seat, right, to fill the gas tank, there is not an equal distribution of power dynamics. And that is going to leave you open to a whole lot of problems, including a rock and a hard place. It could be financially, it could be spiritually, it could be through your family. It could be your family's spouses, their kids. You need to understand your own terms and conditions, your own power dynamics. The power dynamics on a scale needs to teeter, but it cannot be like this. You cannot hold that load and do all the work yourself. It's not viable. It's not financially sound. So you, whoever you are, you need to reevaluate this. You need to see theirs, their heart. If you say, I need your help, we're about to lose our house, or I cannot, we need to cut back on something. We need to switch over to something to where we can maintain and stay out of survival. Can you please help me? And if their heart does not match yours, they aren't for you. They aren't for your idea as a family or a tribe. I don't care. Blood means nothing to me. Blood is not family. It is the frequency of soul, of consciousness. That is what resonates. That is what makes the family family. So I wanted to take this time to have a more heart-to-heart with you all, because you really need it. We all need it. So I'm going to encourage you once again, when this show is over with, take your hand, your dominant hand, rest it here. Pour your own source or your idea. I don't care, even if it's your version of God. Doesn't matter. We all have a right to have our own idea, right? Do this. Find you. But also know, when you look in that mirror, we're all each other, right? We're all trying to navigate this game board, and we all need to be accountable. That's all I have.
Thank you, Brian. Every day I get up, I try raising my vibrations. I try saying this is going to be a great day. And some days it is, and some days it's not so great. But the thing that still makes it a great day is I'm on this side of the grass, okay? So no matter how bad things are in life, I'm on the same side of the grass as you guys are, and together we can make a difference. I'll tell you, a guy who's going to make a lot of difference is Mr. James Rink, because he's going to, for the next about half hour, he's going to be telling you what's going on from his version of the SSP and the Nasara and everything leading up to it. So I'm going to give the microphone to James, and we will not interrupt you for at least 20, 25 minutes, okay?
Thank you so much, and thank you, Brian. It's good to hear your voice again. So, yeah, my name is James Rink, and we've already done the intro, so I don't want to waste any more time on that. Okay, I've got some reports here. So I have people in my network that share intel. So this first source is, I've got some bullet points here. So what I was trying to do is trying to find information that I think that this audience would enjoy. So let's start with this. There are signs of the RV, but the transition will be gradual. There is no specific date yet set for that. The Doge dividend that is expected to be distributed monthly will probably be around $10,000 per person. So it's based on how much you've worked and put into the system. Now, another source years ago told me the UBI would be closer to like $2,000. So I'm going to hold out for 10,000. I think that sounds like a really good idea. The strategic digital asset pool includes assets like XRP, which are designated for specific markets. For example, in the XRP will, I don't know if they're about to say eventually, or if it's already is, it will be linked to gold as well as XLM to silver. And it's not the only one, right? A shift may be felt within the next 2 months as Doge makes more and more disclosures. As corruption is exposed, people will learn that trillions were actually stolen. So what's going to happen is we're going to find that pretty much everything got stolen. So restitution will be required because it's just everything. We're going to find out everything was so corrupt. And now a few of my sources are telling me that they're going to cancel maybe about 90% of debts. Now I know NESARA says you're supposed to cancel all the debts, but they're going back and forth because the idea is, should we hold people responsible if they made all these debts? At least give them 10%. But I think it's going to the corruption is so bad that they'll have to cancel all the debts, in my opinion. But I guess we'll have to find out soon enough, right? No gold standard this year anyway. They will eventually be disclosing everything because we need to know our true history in order to move forward as a human collective. And there are only small pockets of minions remaining, so they are being dealt with. So most of the bad guys are gone. But the white hats have control over the world's most critical systems, but much of the enemy has already been executed. So let's go here. This is something that was given to me about 2 years ago. So this was like a timeline of the Alliance plans, or using the time travel tech, so what they saw in the future. So let's go through this. We are being shown what it's like to live as slaves and what it means to be part of the Alliance, which eventually will be known to the entire world. Kash Patel, who served as the Chief of Staff to Secretary of Defense, of course, now is in charge, a more pivotal role as part of our liberation, operated under that title, but his true mission was much deeper. His purpose would become clearer as the decade unfolds, and by 2030, we will have the opportunity. Super soldiers will speak to him face to face. So, hello, Kash Patel. In 2030, the super soldier, I would say pretty much all the light workers, those of us in our community, we will be the new leaders, the new vanguard of humanity. It will be our responsibility to set an example, acting as teachers, guides, and beacons. I know you might consider you the black sheep of your family, but a beacon of light, right? Okay, so our energy is being preserved and refined, primed to help shape a new world. So yes, we are the 1%, not because of our wealth, right? But because of our understanding of how the monetary system functions. We will lead the effort to rebuild humanity and to restore Tartaria. I don't know how many people are aware of that, the architecture of Tartaria and forgotten knowledge. So let's see here, 2032, planet Earth will be fully 5D. By 2035, Tartaria will start to appear again. So through this process, our souls will grow stronger and more resilient. The energy we have expended in our past lives as slaves is being returned to us, fueling our evolution. This energetic reimbursement in this lifetime will intensify over the next 5 to 10 years, empowering us to step fully into our roles as architects of the future. And there will be good reason for us to integrate into our abilities and our awakening, because that they will be essential for what lies ahead. Once planet Earth is liberated, we will be tasked with joining teams to confront the Draco. So our mission will be to establish deep space outposts, drive the Draco into another dimension or out of this galaxy, and lock them out permanently. We will be called into service for this purpose with access to med beds. It'll take 4 years, of course, to heal the entire planet. And then once that happens, we'll have access to our abilities and We will have the capability to create any kind of avatar we choose. We can project our consciousness into these forms. For the next few hundred years, we will be the defenders of humanity, standing as a force that ensures the Draco know they are no longer welcome here. So how many people liking my message are you? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm not even looking at the chat, but I'm sure it's amazing. Okay, let's go on here. And I just lost my chain of thought. Where will we? There will be good reason. Okay, we have the capability to. Oh, I said that. Okay, by 2048 to 2053, the monetary system will become obsolete. Years ago, I was told around 2055 is when it's going to happen, but take a leave, a couple of years. So, as the new leaders of the future and rebuilders of this planet, we will have ample time to restore and reshape planet Earth. A massive defense force from the Federation currently protects us, but they do not intend to shelter us indefinitely. Eventually, they will step back, and by 2060 to 2070, we will be called back into service. So, give me a moment. 20 somewhere in the 2050s, Space Force is renamed Space Alliance, and then 100 years later, Earth Space Alliance. So that's where we get the name, the Alliance. So it's anyway. I'll get into that just a bit. The med beds will grant us longevity, allowing us to live as long as we choose. And if we are killed in action, our consciousness will return back to the original body. So this war with the Draco will take place in the Thuban system in 2098. So after that, we will have a galaxy mostly at peace. It's not always going to be always be troublemakers out there. So let's go on here. So the Alliance goal is to trap the consciousness of the Sakaar Draco into a pocket reality. So they will once they gain the technology to do this, we'll be able to do that. So that's why I said 2098. And once they're trapped in this loop, they'll be locked away. Okay. We will need help from the Neclama, which are a species that was seen in the Independence Day movie. They are the major enemy of the Draco right now. And once they join the Alliance, and then there's another being, Kili Tokard. So currently the Kili Tokard are more of a neutral race, maybe slightly negative. But once they join into the mix, we'll be able to fight the Draco. So, all right. Our lost energy is already returning to us, and soon we will begin to feel it rising to the top of our heads in a continuous motion. This energy, as we expend it as slaves, is now flowing back into us, restoring our strengths and enhancing our abilities. This alliance is using advanced technology to reshape reality, repairing the fractures of the past, and we are learning to align ourselves in the flow of this universal creation. So let's see here. Lastly, Kash Patel, Donald Trump, Melania have all projected aspects of themselves from the future into our past, guiding events to ensure humanity's liberation and successful evolution of Earth. So let me go to the next. So this is a message from Saint Germain. So I was working with my friend. She can go under full trance and pull up information. So, and some of the, it was, okay. Okay. Let me just share it and not give you commentary. How about that? Okay. So first of all, let's explain who is Saint Germain. So Saint Germain had manifested a physical avatar body from the 5th or 6th dimension as a response from a creator source from all the prayers of people on Earth for a savior to help raise the consciousness of Earth. Saint Germain seems to have manifested as a man that never aged because he projected himself from a higher density. So his creation was based on the social memory complex of what humanity thought he should have looked like. So you could touch him and he would feel real. So Saint Germain, it's a long story. I'm going to need more than 30 minutes. My documentary was 3 hours long. So, but we're going to skip that. But so let's see here. Saint Germain, I asked him, so where are you right now? He says he exists in a higher dimension. And he was currently in his dining room. And so floating above the earth, this dimension, and they can look down into our physical realm. So I asked, let's start off, about Doge, right? We're putting out a message about Social Security. We have, what is it, like 100 million people over the age? I don't know. But so 1,000 people over the age of 250. So we have one individual age 360 to 369 years old. I said, Saint Germain, is that you? And he says, no, No, it was Benjamin Franklin faked his death. His consciousness was transferred into another body. There was also a cloning process in place at that time. So take what you want for that. Okay, let's see here. So I asked him about the vision for the United States. So he said, part of the United States was designed as an experiment, an integration of different peoples from across the globe. It served as a breeding ground to observe how diverse groups would interact when brought together in close proximity. There are multiple tests on racial integration and the merging of ethnic cultures, examining whether they would assimilate into a single collective identity, as an American, a way of thinking. This social experiment was structured to determine if certain guidelines and rules could foster the best leaders and achieve equality amongst all humans. The melting pot concept went beyond cultural fusion. It was also about a larger planetary transition of people, and the outcome are mixed. So Saint Germain is happy about some things and not happy about others. But ultimately, this experiment sought to analyze which groups were the most impressionable, which ethnic groups, and who was the most susceptible to external influences and mental manipulation. So then I asked about the Pacer Family Trust. So according to Saint Germain, the Pacer Family Trust is still functioning today, though not on a grand scale as one might think. Its assets have diminished over time. Really, I think its assets have been stolen. So I asked, is the Federal Reserve a division of the Pacer Railroads? And he said, actually, it's the other way around. The wealth behind the Federal Reserve existed before the railroads were even established. The Federal Reserve is owned by various alien entities using proxies of different banking dynasties, as well as alien-controlled gold mining operations, which goes back thousands of years. This gold is used for various purposes, including advanced technology and fueling of spacecraft as part of the secret space program. And these mining operations are based on Persia, in particular Afghanistan. So I asked, so do our tax dollars fund the secret space program? And the answer is, some of them do, but most of the funding comes through black budget operations. The money is laundered. Most of the money paid to the income tax is laundered, washed, and filtered through different banks, including Bank of America, which is another Pacer asset, but not the only one, right? There's a lot of big banks out there. Okay. So was Saint Germain involved with the Pacer Trust? And the answer is no. And it's not in its present operations, but initially he was involved when it was first established. But over time, it grew independently, evolving into a separate entity under different leadership. And so let's go on here. So what can be revealed about historical resets? There have been multiple resets throughout history, some more recent than commonly reported, while others stretch back further 7,000 years. So Tartaria, of course, is linked to these timeline manipulation and partial resets. But the major reset, a major reset occurred 7,000 years ago when the tectonic plates shifted and Atlantis went into the sea. So I asked, are you sure it was 7,000 years ago? Because I thought it was 11,000 years ago. So he said, yes, confirmed it was 7,000 years ago. So, of course, as you know, ancient Sumeria, I mean, it goes back like 5,000 years. So there's like a gap of like, after the tectonic plate shift, the environment on planet Earth was very hazardous to your health. So it took about 1,000 years before the environment became sustainable enough, is what I've heard or read. But okay. So during this time, Earth's shape changed. Land masses that were once above water sunk and others emerged. So Atlantis still exists today. The sculptures and submerged structures with pillars are often mistaken for Tartarian ruins, are actually remnants of the Atlantean civilization. So giants once lived on Earth, and few still remain in hidden locations. They were responsible for constructing various ancient structures, such as Stonehenge, which was originally designed as an advanced timekeeping mechanism. So I did ask if like the Stonehenges were used for portaling. Anybody confirmed it was actually that? Well, at least that one was for timekeeping. So I asked, will Nasara eliminate national debts worldwide, or will we restructure our debts? So the answer was nothing is set in stone. The discovery of certain information, particularly by Elon Musk, has complicated matters. He's uncovered shocking revelations, including the involvement of off-world entities with a vested interest in Earth's affairs. Their influence has made the process of financial disclosure and global liberation far more complex than originally anticipated. And even he went on the Joe Rogan podcast and they asked, so what can you tell us how bad it is? And he said, well, do you want me to die? Something like that. So there are powerful factions. Some are pushing for change while others are determined to maintain the current system. The situation is far from simple. And that's what it usually is in our reality, right? It's never simple. So I got a few more here. So who controls the world's financial system? The United States financial system is heavily influenced by these offshore controlled alien groups connected to these gold producing areas in the Middle East. So this area has vast amounts of wealth, while the sheiks are living immensely rich. Little bit trickles down to the own general population. So yes, we know about the original banking dynasties, but these are other proxies. So Elon Musk is aware of these financial dynamics. However, discussing this publicly will raise concerns about how this information was obtained and could attract significant attention. Beyond national governments, other entities, both terrestrial and off-world, have a stake in Earth's financial and geopolitical affairs. So next one, we go on. So will we see an EBS, the emergency, right? Broadcast system, right? Alert. So not in the way you might imagine. There won't be a loud alarm or warning. Once the change happens, it will be swift, requiring no preparation. Everything will transition instantly into a new program. With this shift, judgment will take place. Some souls will continue in their human form, while others be transmuted to another state of existence. So you'll be like, if you're like a deep stater, you're gonna be something else. Okay, so will we see a revaluation of assets? There won't be much need for currency in the future. Society will shift towards collaboration and intellectual advancement. A new standard will emerge, requiring everyone to be educated and operating at a higher level of consciousness. So I asked, med beds in the future healing. Med beds will only be accessible to the just and righteous after the transformation event occurs. Those who remain after this transition will have access to them. This entire transformation process, it's already begun, by the way, but it will take 30 years total before it's complete. But so med beds already exist. So if you want to use one, all you need to do is ask. I've recently done an interview with Sean Callahan at USA MedBed. So I've got the address for that. So go to onehospitalbeds.com and you can contact Sean Callahan and tell him that James Ring said I referred to you. So he has some technology there. But the more advanced models are coming. So I was always told years ago, even back in 2016 or 17, during the second half of Trump's second term, all the advanced technologies come out. So that would date us to 2027. So no guarantees, but I do believe by 2028, 2027, they'll be out. Okay, so this is a Mr. New York report. So I pulled out pieces of this because a lot of it's relevant today. So it's like it's like 10 paragraphs here. So I'm going to go through this and you can take what you want from it. So Mr. New York, I worked with this individual under trance or regression. He had no conscious memory of what was being said while not under the influence. So talking to his higher self. So Saint Germain is one of Trump's advisors. He looks like a regular person, but in a modern suit. Trump can see things and has been protected by God. Before 2016, he was told he had a job, or that is Trump, he had a job to do, and it was his choice to do it. That is Trump help. Oh, am I allowed to say that? Mr. T, sorry. Oops. Okay. January 6th is a big deal. It shows how the government lied to everyone, along with the media, and how the police were involved. It also shows that Mr. T asked for the National Guard if they needed it, but Pelosi's office pretended like nothing was going on. There are people still this was old news, still in prison for January 6th, but they're being held hostage. Okay. Mr. T has already said he wants these people released. The cabal, an alphabet agency that starts with C, I, and A, other knuckleheads are holding these people hostages in order to create better terms when they negotiate with the Mr. T administration. However, when Mr. T gets back in office, he will free these hostages in prison and he will dismantle the cabal from the top down. The cabal will be incarcerated, hanged, fired, or disgraced. There are good people in the CIA and FBI who are being dragged into this, and they also want justice as well. Biden will step. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah. So we have. Oh yeah, this is Hunter. Okay, so there'll be more information coming about Biden, Mr. B, right? And they will get criminal actions beginning May 2023. Hunter, Mr. B, initially left his laptop to be found because he hates his father. However, it happened on a subconscious level. On mainstream news, you will hear the announcement when the SARA comes that that it's time to release these humanitarian funds and also to submit your plans. UBI is coming, but it's not part of NASARA. So now we know it's part of like Doge, right? They will not cancel all debts. Well, this is what I was saying earlier, but the most debts will be reduced. Okay. And also banks won't be able to charge huge interest rate as if we still need a monetary system, right? Initially. When Mr. T comes back into office, he will activate ICE and round up illegal immigrants, and they will have to go back to their country. If they were granted illegal asylum during the Mr. B administration, other corrupt administrations, the decision will be reversed, and they will have to go back as well. Most of the things Mr. B is involved with is illegal and unconstitutional. It is true Mr. T went to the PEDO, with them. You can't even say his name because I had a video deleted already by talking about anyway, but they were hoping to honey trap him. So he was into women. So that's why he wasn't into the girls. In the future, I guess I'll say this. YOUTUBE is going to be sued, and the top people will be arrested soon. There are trials in Washington now, and when they're done, GOOGLE executives will be arrested and sent to Gitmo. The lower level workers will realize they cannot do any censoring anymore. The culture at GOOGLE will change. The company will be bought by another rich billionaire like Musk, but not him. They will bring it up to standards. People have lost accounts or videos on that platform due to censorship will not be compensated, but I think they should be. 2 more paragraphs. I'll be done. Okay. Hold your horses. Spy balloons coming into the U.S. in places like South Carolina, Montana, Alaska are Chinese spy balloons. The Biden Mr. B administration did not shoot it down because they are being paid off by the Chinese to look the other way. China will be sending more of these balloons. They have built 10 of them. The White Hats will not stop this. They are letting this happen as a way to help awaken people. The Chinese working with the cabal want to spy on all the White Hat military bases. Their satellites are not close enough to see what's on the ground. China is still planning on it. Yeah, I don't think that time invading us. I don't think that's going to happen our time. Mr. T's family has access to time travel tech, and Mr. T has traveled in 1926 to meet Einstein and Tesla and John Mr. T. They discussed the version of the future they desired and what to avoid, in particular, limiting technology, the time travel tech, to the government. Mr. T also traveled to 2032, and he saw how things changed, but not by much, because he thwarted the people trying to start a nuclear war and make a one-world organization. If Mr. T did not step up, the cabal would have selected an Antichrist, king of the world, to control everything. That timeline has changed, and things have been stopped. I'm done. Does anybody want to add any comments?
Right, yeah.
Hey, Bob, go ahead.
Could you repeat the part, James? Could you repeat the part where you said you can make your MedBed appointment now by contacting what site?
It's Sean Callahan at onehospitalbeds.com. I'll put the link in the description. So,
well, is that one spelled out or the number 1?
It's the digit 1.
Okay, I went to that site and all it does is say something about hospital beds.
Yeah, he sells hospital beds too.
So. Okay, you contact him through that website.
Affirmative, yes.
And what is his name again?
Sean Callahan, and he has the technology is just basically his med bed has ozone capabilities. It does infrared, and there's a sound, acoustical, and also vibrational. So it's a very basic med bed, but like I said, more advanced ones are coming out soon.
Now, here's a question that's come up on the board. Is there going to be a charge for these med beds?
For Sean Callahan, he said, if you are a super soldier, you can go to the facility and use it for free. However, the facility that the units that he sells are $30,000. So, but it's not the only. There's other devices that he has access to. So, yeah.
Okay, so then it's not the true government sanctioned med beds. It's just a form of a med bed.
Affirmative. So, and I tell you, I had a really weird experience when I was over there. I just put out this message from Trump. Did anybody see the Trump message I put on my channel? Chance? No. Okay. So in that message, there was discussion about med beds, but I was through a telepathic means, I was asking Trump is when's these med beds coming out? And he said, "Don't put me down into a date because they're still doing a lot of cleanup. They don't want these cabal members going into the med bed. They want to clean everything up before allowing you to live for 1,000 years or whatever." So,
just before Doc starts, I just want to address a couple of things. Somebody asked about Pam Bondi. To remind you to give your intel on that. I'll do that again later. And somebody asked about what's happening in Australia. Look, there's a lot happening in Australia at the moment. It's all happening, in front of your eyes. We're seeing that Albanese and Dutton are just playing a role, and they're still supporting Ukraine against the people's wishes. So it's not going to end well for them, regardless of what happens. Insofar as Cyclone Alfred is concerned, I just want to share the screen with you very quickly. And video file, share the screen. No, that's not right. Share the screen. Share screen. All right. Not now. And Wendy. I don't know if you can see this. Everybody seeing this?
No.
Okay, something is not going on.
Doc G is not here to put it up. He stepped
off.
Oh,
right. Okay. Yeah, well, if you go and look at windy.com and take a look at the satellite pictures of so-called, Alfie, which is the cyclone that never was, okay? It's a tropical storm. And if you go and when you're on the site, you'll have a menu that comes up on the right-hand side and it says Hurricane Tracker. Click on that and it will tell you that it is a tropical storm and it is not a cyclone. So it's a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and northern New South Wales and the insofar as the Northern Rivers area is going to be affected by flooding and whatnot like that, along with Brisbane. And so, don't panic, guys. It's just another storm. All right. Like everything is, they've used propaganda to make everybody panic and go out and panic buy. This is them seeing just how much control they have over you. And I tell you what, I really want President Trump in Australia and take over the place and make us a state because, we're slaves here. And it's just really, really annoying. Sorry, Chance. I'll let you move on with the show now.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I get it. One thing I want everybody to understand that you have to understand is Trump is not going to come out and make an announcement of what he's getting ready to do. He will talk about it after it's already done. That's all he talked about on this speech. It was about his accomplishments. It wasn't about what he's talked about what he's going to do in code. That's why it's decoded it for you. The MedBeds contact is at the website #1 hospitalmedbeds.com, and he sells beds on there, but you'll have to contact him. His name's Sean Callahan. SHAWN, I believe, or SEAN.
SEAN, yeah. So He's currently in Richmond. So if you're in the Richmond area, you can try that out. Yeah.
It's not the med bed, it's his med bed. And the med bed it's not the sophisticated tech. It has to do, I would believe, without even looking at it, it's probably the med bed. Med bed is turning into such a generic term, and it should really be the higher functioning ones that can regenerate limbs and stuff like that. But med bed has almost become a generic term. There's a med bed place in Clinton, Iowa, but it's not what you think. It's $300 a day, and they've got a couple of those cans under the bed. And you go in and you pay $300 a day, and you stay in a motel room that has 2 of the cans under the bed. You know what I mean by the cans, don't you, James?
Yeah, I've interviewed Dr. Delirious. He's worked with that group. I think they're in Texas. But yeah, I've never tried the can one, but it's like advanced form of orgone material.
It from a friend of mine who bought a can for $18,000. It has positive benefits, but it's slow. It's very slow for you to see anything. And if you put it in the room, like the living room, everybody that's in the living room is going to get benefits of it, but it's not what we're looking for. It's not the instant whiz bang, go in for 2.5 hours, come back out a new person. Okay. Are they going to revalue the $100 trillion Zimbabwe note? Yes, they are going to. And somebody is scamming somebody out there, trying to get them to go to God knows where in Europe, pay $18,000 so that they can go and get their currency. Okay, I just got this today from Debbie Stevens. Guys, it's bullshit. Okay, somebody wants $18,000 to go to Geneva, Lake Geneva. I don't know. It doesn't matter. When it's your turn, it'll be your turn. Okay, when it's your turn, it'll be your turn. And all I want you to do is try to be patient. I know I've got people hanging on too. Okay, so let's just. You've got a superpower. Use it. It's called the power of prayer. We could change everything if you control your own manifestation. 520-7418 Shlama. Okay. Now, right now, guys, he wasn't here last week, but he's here tonight, and this is Dr. Robert Wiedemann, who is going to talk to you for about 12 or 15 minutes med-bed. Not 12 or 15 minutes about longevity. And sorry about that. There's too many things flashing up on the screen. It's distracting me. I'm not going to give you a link. Look it up. It's onehospitalbeds.com. Okay. Number 1. Okay. Everybody's too lazy to scroll on the Telegram page. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'm shutting off my mic, and it's Dr. Robert Wiedemann for the next 12 or 15 minutes.
You're on mute. Why don't you unmute yourself?
Doc, unmute yourself.
Turn your mic on, Doc.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to say, I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and I'm a board-certified NUCA specialist. And I'm in retirement right now, but I want to come out. And I'm working with nutrition right now. But the first thing I want to say is that I believe that chiropractic is going to be in the forefront of healthcare in the near future, regardless of whether med beds are available or not. Chiropractic doesn't lose its significance because vertebra can still misalign whether you've gone to a med bed or not. And the chiropractic started out in 1895 with the first chiropractic adjustment, which was an upper cervical adjustment It was kind of an accidental thing that happened where a man regained his hearing as a result of that adjustment. And then it developed in his B.J. Palmer, the developer of chiropractic, was just a little boy watching this first chiropractic adjustment. And he learned by the time he was 19 years old how to adjust the spine, and literally took over the profession at that time and became the leader of the profession, and developed a $1 million research clinic in 1929, where he was a pioneer of radio and TV. So he understood energy and electricity and so forth. And he discovered that the upper cervical spine is the prime area to adjust, because there's a high energy traffic there at the brainstem, which literally controls everything. And when I was in school, I became interested in the upper cervical approach because of reading BJ's books. And it started out by him taking 3-dimensional x-rays, 3D x-rays of the upper cervical spine. And then John Grostick and Dr. Ralph Gregory came along and started making line measurements where they could make minute measurements of that misalignment. And what they discovered, there's a very tiny misalignment in that area can cause tremendous problems in the entire body. In fact, eventually there was a research project where they did an MRI of the brainstem and found that a subluxation of the upper cervical spine can actually cause restriction in venous outflow, which causes a buildup of pressure in the brain and can cause all kinds of distortions in the brainstem. Now, the brainstem has centers in it that literally control every cranial nerve. Not only that, the pathways, there are things that control the entire body in this area. And that maximal correction in this area can literally untwist the spine, balance the spine, and remove interference from the function of the nervous system. Now,
okay, Doc, I just got a notification from StreamYard that it's going to shut down because we only have a certain amount of time through StreamYard, so we're not going to be able to extend. So could you get to could you try?
I am getting to the point. Thank you. You're please don't interrupt, because I'm trying to plow through this. What happened is that in chiropractic philosophy, they used to teach that just eat a wide variety of foodstuffs. This was great for 1895. However, since 1914, our soils have become minerally deficient. And so chiropractic philosophy actually allows for nutrition, and chiropractors are specifically trained in the nutritional area, and chiropractors have to take over this area. Instead of utilizing medicine, we utilize supplementation to allow the body to restore to what it should be, provided all the nutrients are provided. Now, I just want to show you, I'm going to sprinkle some of these plant-derived minerals on my hand here. These minerals have been spun down from where they were processed from, and they're so small that they go right in. I'm just going to taste this here. And you don't see any residue on my tongue because it went right into the bloodstream. And it's you can taste it. If our foods had all the minerals in it, people would be, they wouldn't be getting fat all the time. If you take a look at the movies from 1910, you will find that people were never fat back then. You see, go and look at YouTube of videos of people walking on the streets. There's no obesity there. Well, on September 4, 1892, things changed for the world. That's where Edison started up generating electricity, and people stopped putting wood ashes on their gardens because they were no longer cooking by fire in their houses. They were utilizing electricity. And so as the soils have become deficient because of over farming and things like this, people have literally become starved of minerals. And there's only one source that I know of in southern Utah where these minerals are available in plant-derived form. So those of you that would like to have more information on this, please utilize the Q code, or else go to getdocsminerals.com or if you can have my phone number up there, 406-270-3754. You can text me, or you can send an email to me at healthreform90@gmail.com, or you can use this QR code to come to my website and put your information in there. Listen to the video of Dr. Wallach, and we're going to have more time in the future because I'm going to have my own radio program with Doc G, and we'll be able to spend more time in talking about these things. So, but that's already we have a number of people that have hopped on our team and have started changing their lives with the nutrients. We've had some people that have had some symptoms, which we expect, of toxins being pulled out of their body. And so what we do is we help them regulate their dosages and so forth to where the symptoms go away, but the toxins are still being poured out. They can overwhelm the kidneys and liver and so that's why we work with people to help them. And those of you that have already started with the nutrients, don't hesitate to get in contact with me if you have any symptoms or problems. We work with people to help consult them through these things. And we are looking for chiropractors to join our team, because chiropractors are uniquely educated to understand nutrition more than anybody else. We have more hours of nutrition than a medical doctor does, or any other kind of, except for a naturopathic physician. There's but the problem is that naturopathic physicians are restricted and licensed to certain states, whereas chiropractors are recognized throughout the world and can actually consult with you on nutrition if they want to. And they should be the ones in the driver's seat when it comes to nutrition. You should never listen to a medical doctor. He doesn't know what he's talking about because he's had less than a half an hour of instruction in his. You hear all these medical doctors trying to give nutritional advice. They know nothing. Chiropractors are the ones that are in the driver's seat when it comes to nutrition. And so if you have a question about nutrition, ask him. And with that, Bob's your uncle.
All right, Doc. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I don't know where Doc G went. He's back here somewhere. There he is. He's coming on.
I'm still here. I'm just in the back.
Were you out blowing up the balloons and the getting the party favors together so that you could celebrate your financial victory today?
Actually, no. I was just observing what everybody was saying, trying to get all the comments. There's so many comments coming in, guys. It's so hard for me to get everybody's comment, and I just want you to know that. I apologize if I didn't get your comment.
I just want to say.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Just want to say, for people who are talking about med beds, right? We've got to get used to the idea of calling them what they are actually called. They are quantum healing chambers. Right? So we can talk about med beds until we're blue in the face, but there's so many different types of technologies out there. But the ones that are going to be brought out by the government are the quantum healing chambers. Okay? And I've got to tell you, with what Doc Weideman was saying just now about chiropractic and whatnot like that, I've been going to a chiropractor since I was 16 years of age. That's a long time. I've been going over 50 years. And I've got to tell you, the HMOs are going to be gone soon. And it's going to go back to the chiropractors where it should have been in the first place. So I can understand why Doc W wants to come back into start practicing again. But so great things coming, great things.
Doc Wiedeman's phone number is 406-270-3754. It's going across the bottom of the screen right now. If you want to get the RV protocol papers, you send $50 by Cash App to $McFadden Chance, and make sure I have your email address because I will be sending them tonight to you by email. Okay? If you only have Wise, then put in my email address on Wise, chancemusic@yahoo.com, $50 US. and I'll send them to you by email. Make sure you send me an email and let me know where you are at, so I can deliver the RV protocol papers by email. They're not coming in the mail. I'm not printing out 90-some pages for every person and sending them in the mail. It's not going to work that way. I have been using Doc's Minerals now for what, Doc, 3 years? About 3 years. And I want a personal note on the minerals, okay? Yeah, we're getting to the intel next, right after I talk to you about Lexi. Lexi was a beautiful, beautiful girl dog that I loved so much. And she got really, really sick. Yeah, put the bottle up there if you got it, Doc. She got really, really sick. And Doc was living in town here at the time. And we were pretty close, pretty tight. And he says, you know, she might just be mineral deficient. He says, why don't you do this? And so I did. And I gave her minerals every day. I sprayed them in her mouth, got them a little spray bottle, sprayed them in her mouth. I put it on her food. And she was getting very weak. And she came and she was sleeping with me every night. And I gave her a little bitty tiny thing of real expensive dog food at 4 o'clock in the morning every morning. That dog had a good 6 months extended lifespan with me, who loved her to death. And she slept with me every night. I had 3 dogs sleeping with me every night at the time. And the only thing I could attribute that she got extra 6 months was the minerals. Okay. So I love it. I love spraying it in my face. Okay. Sometimes I just do this. I pour a little in my hands and I just go like this. I rub it on my arms. Doesn't matter. Or put some in my hand, put it on my belly button. Okay. These minerals work. Okay. So is the other products. I also use the Longevity toothpaste. And as funds become available, I will be ordering some other stuff too. But so anyway, guys, if you want to send a love offering by Cash App, it's $McFadden Chance. And I'm going to take this time before I read the intel from the intake officer to tell you we are doing another guitar raffle. I have an acoustic guitar. I was going to bring it in and bring it tonight, but I'll bring it next week. It's in the shop. It's a dreadnought size guitar. It's an import, and it has beautiful tone. And I when I get the guitars in, I set them all up. Okay, I do everything. I put the Martin strings on them. I lower the action. I make them play just beautifully. Okay, because that's how you sell guitars. You make them play good. Okay. So I'm going to. It's a walnut colored acoustic dreadnought guitar. And it will come with a gig bag and electronic tuner. It's about a $400 value. We are going to sell chances. We're going to do it 30 days from today. So 4 weeks. We'll do it in 4 weeks. So send $5 per chance. Okay? For ticket. $5 per ticket to my Cash App. $McFadden Chance. And put in your note, raffle. Okay? It's a very nice guitar. Very nice guitar. Rings out like a bell. Yes, they are going to revalue the $100 trillion Zimbabwe note. I've answered that twice, I think, now. Okay. Mm-hmm. And
don't forget Pam Bundy.
Pam Bundy. Okay. I want you to research about Pam Bundy. She may be Pam Bundy 2.0. Because, believe it or not, guys, she has a direct connection with Hamas. Okay? Check into that. Because she has been an influencer for a long time. Hey, and hi to Huntington Beach Jeff. How are you? So here we go. Let's get the intel up. There's 2 sections of intel that come directly from the intake officer, and I am very excited. Now, on a personal note, which I may have said at the beginning of the show, he told me there's a possibility I could be going within 4 days. Now, James, you have a contemporary that lives in Chicago. We won't mention his name. You know who that is?
Why don't you enlighten us?
I can't say his name, but our mutual friend told me about him. Okay. He's 69 years old. He was in the program, and he has gotten his 1%. He has gotten his 1%.
Yeah.
And he's not happy being in Chicago, and he wants to come someplace. I told him to come to Mayberry. Doc will tell you, Doc Wiedemann will tell you, they roll in the sidewalks at about 8:30, don't they, Doc?
Yep, they sure do.
All right,
Great
guys.
place to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real quiet. Real quiet. They all think I'm a nutcase. I don't care. Okay. Maybe I am. You don't know. We don't know. Okay. Okay. Today's intel that came in today. Now, let's go yesterday's first. 2 German bonds, HSBC bonds, currently cut and uncut to be redeemed. ABC is to start tomorrow. What is ABC, James?
Are we talking about Alphabet Agency?
Maybe. Okay, and ABC is to start tomorrow.
Maybe it's something the Google.
I don't know. Also, the basket of 8 is going to start tomorrow. That's Thursday. Also, the green light is going to be given for the ZIMS and the 26 other assets. Now that we are asset backed, they are going to release D1 and D2. Very important. Yesterday afternoon, they have started the Republic. And I know this is a fact because I helped Debbie Stevens, who is the governor of the state of Iowa, the interim governor for the state of Iowa for the Republic, the placeholder, whatever you want to call her. I helped her today get in contact with key people that used to be involved in the Republic that has paperwork that she needs. So I'm very pleased. I'm proud that I could help in any way. Okay, we need to remember, these are my priorities. Remember this. Number 1, stop human trafficking and the production of adrenochrome. Save the children. Save the people. Number 2, reinstatement of the Republic. Number 3, the currency exchange. Okay? That's my priorities. Okay? If you, that's why I really hate all I see on people's pages, on the Telegram pages, is people griping about money and bills and stuff. I know it. God, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, here is Thursday's intel. That's today. This came out today. Now, I know this is a fact because I got it yesterday from 2 other sources. Okay. Zelensky is signing peace deal by next Monday, and USA, Russia, and Saudi Arabia are in the deal. Meeting at the USE summit. Trump signing executive orders today, closing the Department of Education. That's been done. Okay. I never could understand why he appointed Linda McMahon to be the secretary, the head of the Department of Education when he's going to close it. Maybe it's because maybe she was going to do it. Maybe she was going to do a body slam on him to finish it up. Okay, the DOE, it's gone, and now it's time for the big elbow. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, she's going to move everything back to the States as her job as Secretary of Education. Yeah.
Right. I know, but I just like the wrestling stuff. I thought, maybe a suplex or something, Anyway, March 2025. 100% confirmed. Trump's secret orders activated. The military alliance is executing covert operations to secure Gassara. The biggest wealth transfer is happening right now. Trump and the alliance are working relentlessly to implement Gassara. The war for financial and political liberation is at its peak, and every move is being executed with precision. The globalist cabal is crumbling. The bad guys are going bye-bye. Their corrupt financial strongholds are being dismantled. The Federal Reserve is being absorbed into the U.S. Treasury, and globalists controlled banks are in full collapse. Earlier today, I found out Trump's got a 90-day hold on the IRS. Don't pay him any money. Do not send in any money. 90-day hold. And you know what's going to happen between then? This. That means it's going to be the end of the IRS. Okay? The globalist cabal is crumbling. Their corrupt financial strongholds are being dismantled. The Federal Reserve is being absorbed into the Treasury. The globalist controlled banks are in full collapse. Over 6,000 executives have stepped down or vanished. Knowing the military alliance is closing in, they just can't hide. Military tribunals are running 24/7. Okay? Now, James doesn't know this, but I have a direct contact at Gitmo. So to know that the military tribunals are running 24/7, I'm going to tell you, it is a hubbub of activity in Gitmo. Have you ever been there, James?
It's actually kind of funny. My dad was stationed in Gitmo, U.S. Navy. Yeah, but it was a lot different back then, I'm sure.
Yeah. But now it's just like, it's just like a cattle call. You know what I mean? Oh, who's the next one up? Okay. Since January 20th, Trump has silently led the largest economic shift in human history. On February 4th, he confirmed that GESAR is not only real but in motion. The quantum financial system is being deployed. By the way, the intake officer told me today that I have my quantum financial system all set up. All I got to do is go get my card. The old fiat system is dead. The U.S. dollar is now but gold backed. Debt erasure has begun. Debt erasure has begun. Doc can testify to that. Student loans, fraudulent mortgages, and manipulated credit obligations are being systematically erased. Hello, Doc. I think he's talking about you there.
Yeah.
Okay, they've been systematically erased. Globally, nations once enslaved by the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank loans are seeing debt relief. The IRS is being dismantled and replaced with fair consumption tax. Offshore accounts holding trillions in stolen wealth have been seized and are being redirected by the people, including Bummer's $1 million plus monthly allowance from, guess what? Bummercare. You're going to hear something about that on the news pretty quick. And like I said earlier in the show, the general friend of the intake officer said it is proof that Bummer had no birth certificate. I didn't read that. Pull that back up.
Oh, sure.
I was told years ago, April 15, 2025 is the date we start getting money. It's starting to trickle to make sure people can handle the money and not do evil, and more funds placed into the bad guys. Okay, let me tell you something. That's what I've been telling you guys for 4.5 months.
Yep.
It's just exactly
what I've been telling. Yeah.
Wyatt told you.
Yeah.
He says they got to test the program. It's a slow rollout. That's what we've all been telling. Wyatt's been telling you that since he came on the show.
Nobody wants to believe me. I don't know why.
Pay attention to what these people are saying on these shows. We're not here for the fun of it. We're here to help you all. Okay. Now let's go. Offshore accounts, trillions of stolen wealth being seized and returned to the people. Secret military operations are down deep. State fortresses, elite bunkers, human trafficking networks, biolabs built for mass control are being seized. Vatican bank accounts have been frozen and exposing centuries of corruption, as well as all the gold that was in the Vatican. And Swiss banking elites are surrendering their financial records, and that's not going to be good for the Swiss. The people that you thought were so neutral, no. Okay. Anyway, Deep State's last moves are failing. Desperate attempts at sabotage, power grid attacks, stock market manipulation, cyber warfare, they're all being neutralized. Hey, this is a good one. Mainstream media blackout is collapsing as whistleblowers expose their lies. Guess what? 200 at ABC newscasters. They're gone. They're gone. Goodbye. Disney said bye-bye. Don't be surprised if Disney doesn't go bye-bye either. Trump's revolution is unstoppable. Prepare for the final phase. Gasara, full activation is nearing. The greatest wealth transfer in history is happening now. Remember, the three ladies, $3,100, $13,000, $23,000. That's just the ones I know about. The greatest wealth transfer in history is happening now. Deep State's power is disintegrating. Those who are ready to step into the new era of abundance, their game is over. The storm is here. Okay? That's what Wyatt and I say to each other. The storm is here every time we talk.
Yep.
It is here.
Bigly.
I'm going to give everybody 1 minute or less to do their final thoughts. Fascinating, Brian. Go ahead. Let's hear your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is use the discernment of your heart. Okay. The reason why it's really important is because language speaks very broadly versus very concise and focused. A perfect example, eradication of evil. It's an impossibility. Federation of light. What does Federation of light mean? I don't know. It could mean like the idea of a deep sea fish that has that little light in a bowl. You know what I mean? And then you become food for someone else. It's just an example that you need to pay attention to the language structure, to be aware, but most importantly, to make sure you are navigating your field alone. No one else's. Only conform to you and your ideas. So step up to the plate and do what's necessary to honor your journey.
Our very special guest tonight, James Rink. Do you want to have any final thoughts here for 1 minute or less, sir?
Yes, sir. Let's everybody go to supersoldiercon.com and purchase a ticket at my conference October 8th and 12th this year at Orlando, Florida. We have 20 people. All of them are in the Secret Space program, and they're going to share their experiences. We have food packages. You can also go to healingsoulsurvivors.org and make a donation. That's my nonprofit. And also, you can purchase a copy of my book. It's 400 pages long. You can get this at neologicaltech.com and get yourself a meditation cube while you're at it. So this helps support the work that I do, and also helps support you too, because you get things out of this as well. So thank you all. Thank you for inviting me on here today, Chance.
We're honored to have you, and you're welcome to come back anytime you like. All right, Dr. Wiedemann, in 1 minute or less, let's hear your final thoughts.
Yeah, well, I just want to mention that my senior business partner is a former Navy SEAL. He was a warrant officer when he retired, and he's behind a lot of the algorithms that are on this website. Now, Ray Dubček is, of course, the high level programmer that has programmed this website. Marvin has been Dr. Wallach rebuilt his knees and helped him get his wife pregnant because he was minerally deficient. That's true. He couldn't get his wife pregnant until after he got on the minerals. And Dr. Wallach literally worked with him and then ended up working with the Amish all through Indiana because the soils there are deficient in selenium. So he's behind a lot of this, and he's interested in actually getting the military, the Navy SEAL trainings area, to get them on the nutrition and under NUCA care. So that they can perform at peak, because there are so many people that get washed out by blown out knees and things like that. And if we can reverse all that with the military and help them out, it's going to be a big thing. So our program is going to be able to go into more detail. I'll be on here from time to time, but because I love Chance's show, and Chance is such a good friend of mine. We're just pretty close buds, But we're going to have our own show that where Marvin's going to be on there. We're going to have guests from different areas on there to help you understand just how detailed and important this is for your future. Because if we can turn our backs on the artificial, and my final thought is what B.J. Palmer said. He said, that which is natural, though little, is better than that which is artificial, even though voluminous. That's a profound statement.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks, Doc. Doc G, what's your final thoughts for tonight?
Well, I've got I'm elated at what happened to me, and I hope it happens for more people, so you can see everything zeroed out, because it's truly a shock. When I saw that, it was a shock. Now, I'm a believer like everybody else. I have faith. I believe in God. I believe that things are going to happen. But when you actually see it done, that's all your faith you need right there. That's all I got to say.
That's awesome. All right. Wyatt, what's your final thoughts for tonight?
Okay, a couple of things. Get out of your head and into your heart and get into your own space and live there and play harp music. Now, this background is for manifesting. I am hoping to be speaking to President Trump very soon about Australia's future insofar as a notice of lawful rebellion is concerned. So I'm manifesting being in the Oval. Okay, I won't be dressed like this, obviously. I'm not Zelensky. But, we've told you a lot of things over in the past, well, since I've been on the show, and even before that, Chance was telling you a lot of things. If you're not sure of anything and you want to know the answers to some things, go back and have a look at some of the other shows, because the answers are there, because we've given them to you. We don't blow smoke up your backside, right? So, that's it. Everybody, it's coming. It's here, and we just got to move forward in the best way we possibly can. Thank you very much for watching. And thank you, James, for coming on the show. It's been a real pleasure listening to what you've got to say. I'm actually going to review this video, this presentation, because I always miss something, and I'm going to pick up on everything. So thank you. That's it, Chance.
If the audience members comes up with some specific questions, I can come back and address that.
That would be great. Let's look at that. Let's look at that in the future. Okay. All right, guys. Next week, my final thoughts. Next week, we're going to have the stem cell ladies back. When I started the show tonight, I had my patches right here, and then I thought, well, that looks a little stupid. So I put them up here, and that looked even stupider. So I put them under my neck. So now the show's back almost over, so I'm going to put them back on my face. The reason I use the stem cell patches around here in this particular part is X39 here, X49 here. The reason I do that is because I'm trying to open up my third eye. I'm trying to heal my sinuses. I'm trying to keep my teeth in good shape. And so most of my physical problems seems to be right in this area. So I'm going to put them right here. I'm constantly getting stuff from people saying, you look so much younger. Oh, I know I mentioned it. Pam Bondi is not who you think she is. She might be in a replace. That means she might be Pam Bondi 2.0. But Pam Bondi did some bad things. She was very indirectly associated with Hamas. So you better figure that one out and do your own research, because I can't tell you everything. And you don't want to listen to me anyway. You got to use your own discernment. But what I want you to do is just continue to pray. Let's pray for Bernadette. Let's pray for Shelley. Shelley's in a wow. Both these ladies, Shelley and Bernadette, they need a 5-gallon bucket full of prayers every hour. I'm not kidding. These ladies, wow. I love them both. I've never met Shelley. I know Bernadette real well. I've never met Shelley, but I know Shelley's mom, Judy, and Judy is a wonderful lady, and that's why I'm hoping that something opens up with these med beds sooner, James, because I can't stand it as an empath. I can't stand to sit here and watch these people suffer.
Yeah.
You know, I got a sick son. He's got problems. He needs a med bed. Okay. But here's what we got right now. We got our superpowers of prayer, and we got each other for support. And what the world needs now, guys, is love, sweet love. All you need is love. Hang on to the heart. And like Wyatt said, get out of your head, get into your heart, manifest 520-7418. I am going to do manifesting tonight for Bernadette and for Shelley, and prayers. I'll probably lay in bed for 3 hours with Megan, and that's probably all I'll do. That's why I have a hard time going to sleep at night when I hear people in need. Sorry, my minute is up. I love you guys. We will see you all next week. James, you're welcome back anytime. You have my contact information. Fascinating Brian, thank you. Doc G, thank you. Wyatt, the one and only, thank you. Doc W, thank you. James Rink, we'll see you guys all next week on Chances Chat right here on HamiltonRadio.net.
Thank you, sir.
Bye,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good later. See you later.